Okay, we've just been set up to get into a trade at 1317.50, as you can see by the up blue arrow. So I've gone ahead and put the order in, and by the way, this is Thursday morning, February the 10th, 2011. So trying to get long here, and I'm just going to put this video on pause here in just a moment and see if we actually do dip down and get it. Okay, I've just started the video back up, and you can see it's a few minutes later, and the market has come down. It's hit our price. We have not yet been entered. By the way, the timeline on the bottom is Pacific time zone, which I live in, so that 8:40 at the bottom would be 11:40 Eastern time. So you can see our dashed blue line there just beneath the buy limit order at 1317.50. And the market today went down, and we had 1310 as our major support, and the market did dip down to 1308 and change. Okay, here we've just gotten filled. And you can see that the software, the ATM stands for Automated Trade Management feature within the Ninja platform, immediately places the protective sell stop and the target objective. So you can see it's already run up and hit 1318.25, and we've been filled on that. Now on the ATM feature, I'm not sure why. I'll have to move it myself here, but I don't know why that didn't trigger, but it's set up such that this is the ATM from Ninja. When our first objective was hit, it was actually programmed to reduce our stop from 6 ticks to 3 ticks, which is the equivalent of what our first objective was on that trade. So our basic trade management protocol on 4 contracts or multiple contracts is initial protective stop of 6 ticks, initial target, first target of 3 ticks, where we exit 1/2 of our position. Once that is reached, then the stop is reduced from 6 to 3 ticks. Our second objective is 6 ticks, or 1.5 points. When that is reached, our stop is brought to break even. It's brought to break even if we haven't been filled or been filled, either way. And this, of course, happens on the first target as well. As you can see here, I've placed the the final objective at 1321.50 for 4 points. So that's how I have mine set up, and we'll just see what transpires here. The idea on the a very modest 3-tick profit on the first objective is that we do reach that pretty high percentage of the time, so that if the market then turns around and moves against us, it would then have to move 6 ticks against us, because we're already 3 ticks to the good, then we would end up by losing 3 ticks on the trade after having made 3, so it would be a net break even. So we feel that first objective, that in essence, the philosophy behind that is that it's really an objective to just kind of cover the overhead. It's obviously not a large gain, but it's a somewhat conservative way to trade. We know that the E-mini S&P tends to move in 2 and 4 point increments. So if we're taking part of that first 2-point natural movement in the E-mini S&P, then we can do it pretty regularly. And then our traders, of course, they can decide on their own as to how they actually want to manage the trade at that point, whether they at that point want to bring it to break even, or however they feel they do it. I'm talking to one trader not too long ago he likes to trade fairly large size, and he'll just go for the first objective, and then that's it. And with the kind of size that he's trading, he's doing very well financially from that kind of trading. So now if the market can bounce up here another tick and at 1319, then the stop will be adjusted, and it should be adjusted automatically. We'll see if that does happen. Otherwise, I will do it manually. But the stop should then go to our entry price, which is 1317.50. So now, as mentioning earlier, just before we hit our first objective, that going into today, we had major support at 1310, um, and the market, it did dip down there. As a matter of fact, the market actually opened right about 1312, I think it was, 1311.50 actually, and then when it did dip, it dipped actually down to 850, and now it's turned right around. And as you can see, now we're creating new highs here. So we've had a nice, off of the low, it's been about 11 points, and about 9 points off of our expected support area. So uh, the intention that we had, or the thought that we had going into today, was still that the market was in an intraday up bias. So we certainly had the preference on the long side, and seeing it come off of the price so nicely at 1310, we had earlier trades that were triggered at lower prices, so that worked out well. But now we've been out of those trades, and now we have entered this long trade here with the expectation that the market has gotten low enough in its auction process, because obviously that's really how the auction process works, is that markets dip down to find buyers and rally up to find sellers. Just like going to the store, if they got a sale on, they have a sale on, they've lowered price, obviously that's an advertising mechanism to attract buyers. And in the market, of course, it's no different. As prices drop down, it's the market's way of advertising for buyers. So the market did dip down nicely and found some pretty strong buying in that support area around 1310, and you can see here it's rallied up quite nicely from there. So once again, we've just hit 1875, so we've just come to within a tick of our second objective. So we'll just kind of sit back here. You can see you can see where the up blue arrow is at 13. It's actually now just to the left of where our stop is, where it says 1317.50. So at the close of that bar, in this case it turns out to be that lime green bar, at the close of that bar, that's when that blue arrow, up arrow, was formed. So that's when this order was entered. And as you can see, it took, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It took 14 minutes before the market came back down and actually hit our price and filled us. Okay, there, we've just hit 1319. You can see the software, the NinjaTrader software. This is not our software. That's the automated trade management, of course, is part of Ninja. The software that you're seeing, the way that the chart here forms with the trade identification and these paint bars and so forth, that's our software, of course. So you can see that our stop automatically was adjusted to the break even. Now you can see that sell at 1319 even was not filled. So you can see that sell order still exists. So we have not yet been filled at our second objective. And but whether we were filled or not, because it did move 1.5 points in our favor, or 6 ticks in our favor, our stop is now adjusted to break even. So should the market not fill us at 1319, if it doesn't get back up there but does come down and hit 1317.50, then we will end up with break even on the second half of the position. We will have still, of course, made the profits on the first half of the position on the two contracts when they hit our first objective. So hopefully it'll give us a bounce here, and we will get filled on that second target. It's looking doubtful at the moment, though, isn't it? The two little red dashed lines that you can see just to the left of where I'm pointing right now, that's what we call a balance area. And we do find that when these form in real time with our software, the market does tend to be contained within them. In this particular case, we had an entry for a long position here at 1317.50, just near the low of that balance area. You can see the low of it was just one tick lower at 1317.25. So in an up market like we have today, oftentimes these balance areas will find support near the lows of those balance areas, and that's as it turned out today, although that wasn't the exact trade type we took today, as it turned out that gave us additional sort of ammunition, if you will, in wanting to get long near the low of that balance area, and that's why we were entered long, or not one of the reasons, but we were entered long at 1317.50, just one tick above the low of that lower red short horizontal line there, just above the blue arrow. So not looking well. We'll see. We'll just keep holding on here, but looks like we might get hit on our break even on our final partial here. It's come within one tick of it here on these three bars. At any rate, if it does come down and hit us, we've still had at least profits of a point and a half net. So okay, well there it is. We've just been stopped out. So anyway, that's just a good example. As the trade still able to make a bit of profit on that trade, and no heat at all on that one. It hit our entry price and filled us right on the dot. So that'll be it for one of our basic trades with eminidaytrader. So thanks for taking the time to watch.